So I was actually planning on using this as sort of an introduction or sort of a prelude slash forward, whatever you want to call it, to another video on my YouTube channel that I was going to post this week. But I decided that this probably deserves its own kind of standalone video, so here you have it. As I sit here and I talk to you right now, it's March 31st, 2020. Coronavirus, real serious thing, a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. Now look, those of you who watch these videos that I put out there, you know that sometimes I get a little colorful, a little animated when I get up on my soapbox. That being said, I may or may not use some colorful language here, so if you have to, might be a good time to send the kids out of the room here, okay? But that being said, I want to start off with this. Nurses and doctors who are on the front lines right now, who are in arguably the worst and most compromised situation throughout all this, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being there. I want you to know I'm thinking about you, and God bless you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. But it obviously goes a lot more beyond doctors and nurses, right? There's a lot of frontline people out there. Police officers, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, even just people who work at the grocery store that are in a very compromised position right now where they could be exposed to this thing. All right, truck drivers, people in the transportation industry, just the rank and file people who work at the airports, the airline people, pilots, but most notably, gate agents and flight attendants who are definitely out there in a very compromised situation. So especially them, thank you for what you're doing. I'm thinking about you. I'm proud of all of you. God bless you guys. Keep up the good work, okay? We're all going to get through this thing. We're all going to come out of it. But look, here's the thing. I know everybody's going a little stir crazy out there with sort of this whole kind of quarantine that we're under, which is a term I'm using loosely, but it's not completely and totally out of the question. It's almost like we're all quarantined. Now look, I'm going to say this, okay? I think that in this whole process, there have been a lot of decisions that have been made based upon fear and emotion and not fact. There have been a lot of copycat things where one group or one entity or one company does one thing and then their peer set in that same sort of industry, if you will, has to follow suit. And it's trickled down in such a way where basically we become prisoners in our own home by virtue of everything being closed, and there's really nothing that you can leave the house for anyway, right? Now look, whether or not it needs to be like that, that's not the point that I'm trying to make. I definitely have some feelings and opinions about that, okay? But the bottom line, it is what it is, as they say. And the situation has become what it's become. So we may as well make the most of it. I mean, stop and think about this for a second. When your grandparents' generation was asked to save the world, they did it with rifles. And they did it in places like Anzio, Iwo Jima, right? The beaches of Normandy. You're doing it by sitting on your ass in your couch, drinking coffee and watching TV and ordering takeout, okay? All things considered, that's not a bad alternative, okay? So I'm just saying, make the most of it. I know you don't want to do that, but think about this. There's so many people I know who've said to me over the years, Z, if only I could just stay home without any consequence, repercussion, guilt, or anything else, and just sleep late every day and watch TV and do nothing and drink coffee in my pajamas and order takeout and eat pizza, right? You're getting your wish. This is actually happening. So you know what? Make the most of it. That's my message here, okay? Now, another thing, and I'm not trying to be mean-spirited. I'm not trying to be confrontational, okay? This doesn't apply to all of you watching, but for those of you who it does, you know who you are, stop hoarding the fucking toilet paper. Okay, this is starting to get really ridiculous. I literally haven't seen toilet paper in any grocery store or any such place in a matter of weeks. It's probably been going on at least 3 weeks since I've seen toilet paper in a place like that. Okay, for right now, I'm doing all right. But being the prudent guy that I am who thinks ahead, I'm already starting to think out of an act of desperation in about another 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to have to get the garden hose out back, rig it up to the side of my house in the bathroom window up there, get out a 5-gallon bucket with the blaster pump from the live well on my boat and make a bidet out of it. And I'm the type of guy who doesn't use bidets. And let me tell you something, I don't need that shit in my life, literally or metaphorically. So all I'm saying is stop hoarding the toilet paper. Give other people a crack at it. No pun intended, all right? But really, those of you who've been stockpiling toilet paper, enough. You got enough toilet paper to last you at least 12 months. Knock it off. Let other people get a shot at it. I mean, look, I get it. Being stuck in your house, we're all going a little bit stir crazy, okay? I'm right up there with you. It's gotten to the point where going grocery shopping has become the social event of the week. I'm sitting there, I'm combing my hair, I'm putting on better clothes, I'm putting on cologne just to go grocery shopping, right? And forget about it, it's getting crazy. The other morning I wake up and the high point of my day, I'm having a cup of coffee in my kitchen, I'm looking out the window over there, I see a squirrel on the patio up by my grill. 2 of us look at each other, we make eye contact. There was a moment, if only for a second, but it was definitely a moment. And then he did what squirrels always do. He turned his head and he ran away. But like, that was the highlight of my day, was seeing that squirrel, you know? I mean, that was like the most social contact I've had in probably 3 or 4 days. So I get it. We're all getting a little bit crazy right now. Okay? Now listen, all wisecracking and BSing aside over here, okay? This is a tough time that we're all going through right now, okay? So the takeaway here is this, all right? Make the most of it. Whether or not this situation is right or wrong, just make the most of it. But most importantly, take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of your neighbors. I've always said that. Too many people try to focus on saving the world, and I always say, you know what? If you just focus on your family, your friends, and your neighbors, then you wouldn't have to worry about saving the world. This is a perfect situation, an opportunity to do exactly that, okay? Your family members, particularly ones who are in a high-risk group, whether they have a compromised immune system or an underlying health issue, certainly if they're getting on in years like my parents are, okay? Call them, check in on them. And not just your parents, but members of your extended family, and especially your friends and people you care about. I don't care if you haven't talked to them in a little while. Reach out, check on them, see if they need anything, okay? But most importantly, just let them know you're thinking about them during a tough time. Think about if you got a phone call from someone, you know, that you haven't talked to in a little bit, and they were just calling to say, hey, just thinking about you, calling to check on you and make sure that you're doing okay. You'd probably feel pretty amazing, right? It's important to start doing stuff like that in this type of a situation. The other thing too is make the most of this time, okay? You know, look, focus on yourself over here while you have this downtime. One of the reasons why I feel a lot of people don't get to accomplish things they want in life is because it traces back to that they don't get to know who they are. And they don't get to know who they are because they never really have any alone time to get to know themselves and figure themselves out. Oftentimes people jump from one thing to the next in life, you know, whether it's an activity, a group, a relationship, whatever. There's so many people that don't have downtime and they never figure out who they are. Now is a perfect opportunity to do that, okay? Figure out yourself, get to know yourself a little bit. And if you already have that one covered, then learn something, better yourself somehow with the downtime that you have. And those of you sitting there rolling your eyes and going, yeah, but Z, you know, I mean, I got kids. It's not like I have downtime. Well, you know what? Look, I'm sure your kids probably drive you crazy. But you know what? Think about people out there who want to have kids and for one reason or another can't have kids, okay? You've got kids and a beautiful family to enjoy. Enjoy them. Maybe they drive you crazy, and I'm sure it does stress you out a little bit here, the fact that you guys are all in close proximity for such a long time. But you know what? Enjoy one of this company. You know, so many people, so many times I hear them say, you know, man, I wish I got to spend more time with my family. I wish I got to spend more time with my kids. Here you go. You're getting what you wished for. Appreciate it. Use this time to your advantage and do something positive with it. We will get through this thing together. Our country has been through a lot, and it's proven that it's very resilient, okay? We've gotten through a depression, 2 world wars. We've gotten through 9/11, the financial crisis in 2008. And we even survived that, whatever it was, that arena football thing that happened a few years ago. We'll get through this. Trust me. So all I'm saying, stay hunkered down, whether you like it or not. I have my opinions too about that. Just make the most of it. Be there for your family, your friends, and the people that you care about. Thoughts and prayers to the first responders, and stop hoarding the toilet paper. All right? That's all I got for you. Thanks for giving me a couple minutes. Talk to you guys again really soon. Stay tuned.